Have you ever received a mysterious and searing scratch on your back? What would you do if you had an intruder in your house that seemed to vanish into thin air? Have you ever seen a loved one only for them to pop up somewhere else just a few minutes later? Today, we test the believability of the cursed Civil War land.
Welcome to Believing the Bizarre,
Where we dive into the unknown and the unusual.
and tell you whether or not we find it believable.
That's right. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of Believing the Bizarre.
That's right. We're here again. We're here live.
Well, we're live.
Well, we're live.
Yours is going to be a little heavily produced. Every Tuesday since July, 5th or 7th or whatever, but like it was the one before that.
Yeah.
So whatever the last Tuesday in June of 2020 is, every Tuesday since then,
We've been here. Yeah.
And if you count our old podcast, which you shouldn't, since June of 2019, we've been somewhere.
We've been on mic every week for years at this point.
And you know what? That makes me want to thank our newest patrons, who include Cashel, Rob Z, Talia, Cecil, and Savannah. Thank you all so much for joining and supporting the podcast. It means a lot. I just shipped one today, so it's front of mind. If you're interested in our 2025 enamel pin, the year is we've moved now. We're like on to the second half of the year somehow, some way. We're like right there. So if you want that pin, which will be discontinued January 1st, 2026, make sure to join our not tier. You also get a shirt and a hoodie.
Yeah.
In that tier.
In that tier, you got a lot of stuff in that tier.
So
yeah.
I got 2 listeners submitted stories for you today to dine on.
How many we had on?
2.
You
can put the little bib on.
I don't know why. I feel like we come back to the food analogy a lot. I mean, it's just who we are as people.
Well,
but
we are providing a service, and it is entertainment, and going out to eat is kind of like entertainment. You know what I mean?
That's very American of us.
We are, you know what I mean? We're a meal.
We are the dinner and the show.
We're a snack.
Could eat us.
We're a snack. And the first story comes to us from Ava. All right, so this is a little bit of a shorter submission. This comes to us from Ava from Newfoundland, Canada, which is where Come From Away.
Yeah, the 9/11 play.
Canada's perspective on 9/11.
It's a very neat show.
I really like it. The cast has to be phenomenal because they have to keep replaying all these different people.
I like the concept.
Me and my wife will sometimes be like, "Yep, that's a moose."
I showed my wife that musical, surprisingly, because she's way more into musicals than I am. I was like, "No, let's watch it." I actually sat down on YouTube and watched it.
Oh, a YouTube show of it? That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So Ava's experience begins in early 2022. She was on the phone talking with a couple of her friends, which just that statement alone takes me back. Now, obviously, this takes place in 2022. But the idea of like, it's home night, you're on the phone with your friends, 2 of them, it just feels so like 90s, early 2000s to me.
Yeah, like the three-way Mean Girls kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Even though like obviously I know iPhones can 3-way connect now, but it's like the visual of it. Like I'm not quite in like phone connected to the wall territory, but I mean just like girl sitting on her bed. Split screen. It's probably just because of movies. Like
probably, yeah.
Because I've never been a girl on the phone with 2 other people. But
I'll tell you what, I didn't have that many friends in high school. So
Ava is on the phone with her friends. They're talking. She's talking low. It's 1 a.m. It's late. She doesn't want to wake anyone up. She hears her bathroom door slam shut, like super, super loud. It startles her. But in her mind, she's like, okay, the window's open because their cat Freddy likes to look out the window.
Yeah.
As cats do. Mine would jump and then realize it sucked and then come right back in. That's where the food is.
I think Artemis would her insides, her in nature would take her to the wilderness and she wouldn't come back.
Artemis would be like the kid from Christmas Story, pull out that gun.
She would.
Start shooting people.
Yeah, she's a monster.
Cat's ferocious. So she just thinks that the window is open, is shut the bathroom door. That's what made it's shut.
Oh boy. What's going on there?
But a few moments later, she hears the door violently swing back open and heavy footsteps emerge down the hall. And she doesn't recognize these footsteps, which is a weird thing to say. But I think there's merit to that. Where if you hear someone walking, you're like, that doesn't sound like my mom. That doesn't sound like my dad or her sister.
Heavier than my mom. It's lighter than my dad. I got you.
Like Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit here. It's just these steps are way heavier and more intense than anyone in her family. But still, giving it the benefit of the doubt, she's like, whatever, I'm going to ignore this thing. And, maybe it's my dad. Maybe he's just really tired and he's like dragging his feet.
Yeah.
So she goes back to talking with her friends. She tries ignoring it. But then she notices that the footsteps stop near the bedroom in their house. That's like a spare bedroom where her mom keeps books and her vanity. Like where she, makeup and stuff like that. So tuning out her friend, she's listening more intently. And she starts hearing all these things being moved around, this clattering, something falling off the vanity. And it's so loud that her friends are like, hey, what's going on over there? What's all that noise? Is that Freddy, the cat? And she's like, you guys can hear it? And they're like, yeah, like what's going on? And she just kind of blows it off because she doesn't really have an answer. It's just kind of like it's happening. And she's like, no, it's probably just my sister. She has a sister who's 2 years younger. I didn't get her age. But I'm assuming we're talking teens here. Like maybe like 16, 14.
1 in. Yeah, she's probably in their teens.
Yeah, I'm going to say 16, 14. That could be completely wrong, but it's now official according to the story.
It's an educated guess.
Yeah, 17, 15, somewhere like that. So anyway, she just assumes it's her sister, and she gets off the phone with her friends, and she goes to sleep. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to talk to her tomorrow morning because that was kind of bullshit. So the next morning, she wakes up, and as any teenager does, she looks at her phone. It's the first thing we all do.
Sure.
And she sees a text message, and it came in at 1:30 the night before, right around when she went to sleep. And it was her sister, and it said, Ava, stop making all that noise. It's keeping me up.
Ava, you hoser. Knock it off. I'm trying to sleep.
And so she's confused. She's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure those noises were you, and now you're accusing them of being me.
Yeah.
So she gets these like chills down her spine, realizing like there's something weird going on here. So she texts her back, even though they're in the same house, but whatever. She texts her back and she's like, yeah, it wasn't me. I thought it was you making the racket. And immediately her sister's like, no, I was trying to sleep. And you were keeping me up by singing and moving stuff around.
Oh, singing.
Yeah. So even more confused, she's like, just come to my room. Like, let's talk this through. So she does. And she angrily tells Ava that she can't make that much noise in the dead of night and stop the singing. And Ava told her that she heard the same thing and thought it was her minus the singing. So they just kind of stared at each other for this moment and they decided, okay, it couldn't have been mom or dad. Because in Ava's mind, even she already counted them out when it was the slamming of the door, the footsteps all that. She already didn't think it was her parents. But now with this like added factor of singing, that like completely shut down the theory that it was them. And if they believe each other, I mean, you kind of get hit with this realization, like, was someone else in our house last night? They don't know who did it. They don't think it's each other. They don't think it's the parents. They're like, all right, let's just go to the room and check out, see what happened.
Yeah.
So here's a quote. As soon as I stepped in, I noticed that the makeup had been moved out of the drawers that my mom kept neat and tidy, splayed around on the vanity, and multiple hairspray containers were scattered on the floor. It was not the same as the night before, where everything had been tidy. I shared a look with my sister before checking the window, only to find it shut and locked. Suddenly, she broke out into a nervous laughter. Okay, the prank is over. You're a bad liar. You should probably just clean this mess up before mom sees. And I was angry and confused, and I said, no, it wasn't me. I was in my bed talking to Brady and Curtis. You can even ask them. An argument quietly broke out before I decided to text Brady and ask him if he could tell my sister about him asking what the noise was last night. A few minutes passed before Brady responded with, what are you talking about? I didn't hear anything other than you and Curtis talking. A cold sweat covered me. I was terrified and swore to my sister that I did not do anything and that I heard the same things, and she stormed off angrily.
What the fuck?
I don't know. That is such a weird wrinkle in this story.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. And hint, we'll never get closure on that. I have no idea if he's messing with her or
Yeah.
what. Because that is such a weird, creepy detail. Unless he's just, he could just be messing with her. But
even it's a weird twist on that. That's so. It was him. He broke in the house.
yeah, he had like one of those talk boxes on where it just like, he's like, all right, Brady, every like few seconds, just press this. Or no, every Curtis. Like, and it's just like, wow, that's crazy. Wow. You're kidding.
Soundboard for him.
I hate that class. Wow. No, I don't. It's such a weird detail and
That's
such
really
a like.
strange. Oh, okay. It's very high school. What if he's mad at her because he likes her and she was mostly talking to Curtis?
Yeah. He's like, hey, Ava, you want to talk tonight? And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, hold on, let me three-way Curtis in. And he's like, what the fuck? In my mind, I was like, when I was reading this the first time, I'm like, oh no, you just became not credible.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But now the thing is that the sister heard it too.
Yeah.
Unless she was, you know what I mean? But
she thought it was a sister.
Right. I'm just like, if she was the only one that heard it,
yeah,
and then Brady couldn't confirm the story, then I'm like, unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this.
That's really strange.
Unless like this thing was able to manipulate.
Yeah.
Because then again, her sister heard singing and she didn't.
Yeah, that's really
so
weird.
there's two different experiences happening here.
So the thing manipulated. That's hard to even.
Now it'd be really creepy if he was like, "Yeah, we didn't talk last night."
That'd be very disturbing.
That this demon just had an hour and a half conversation with them, like, "Yeah, Janice is such a bitch."
Yeah, that class is hard, I guess.
Yeah.
That demon.
No one likes you in that class. I heard.
That demon is actually failing geography. So
he's like, "Can I copy your homework, by the way?" So anyway, back to Ava. Later that night, Ava was in her sister's room and they were watching YouTube videos on TV with Freddy the cat sprawled out on the floor, as he should be, tummy straight up. The parents were asleep in the room, and again around 1 a.m., they heard the bathroom door slam shut. And Ava looked over at her sister, confirming that she also heard this noise. When she confirmed that she did, they paused the TV and listened carefully. A few minutes passed, and they heard the door swing open again and the footsteps. Ava felt frozen, and judging by how her sister looked, she was pretty terrified too. Once the footsteps went into the spare room and they heard the familiar clanging, Ava's sister jumped up, dashed out of the room and towards the spare room. Now, Ava was too frozen with fear. She admits that she was not a big believer in the paranormal, which means in her mind, this is a physical intruder.
yeah.
Like, this isn't a ghost. I'm not about to see Casper. Like, there's physically someone in this house who might harm me, which, in her defense, is a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
In ways. You know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of like
I'm
a
not
Frogger. Like, this person keeps coming back.
Yeah, I'm not saying a haunting's cool. I'm not saying it's not dangerous. But I would say the worst case scenario is a physical human being who's dangerous in your house rather than, like, poltergeist or something.
Yeah, probably.
In that immediate moment, I would say.
Yeah.
In her mind, too, because she doesn't really believe in the paranormal. So a few minutes later, Ava's sister returned and quietly shut the door behind her. She sat down with a very blank look on her face, and Ava asked her what she saw. Very matter-of-factly, she said nothing. She didn't see anything. And everything was thrown about and laying on the floor just like it was that morning. But thankfully, those 2 nights were the only paranormal occurrences that happened. Ava's parents, when they talked to them, said they didn't hear anything, they didn't see anything. And Ava's friends still deny, both of them, that they never asked about any noises happening on the phone.
Wow.
And Ava talked to her therapist about this, who claimed to be spiritual. And she offered, and I feel like this can be a comfort thing, but she offered that maybe Ava's sister charging this
entity
scared it away, and that's why it hasn't come back.
Okay.
Nice.
I do have a thought. I want to pitch it out here, but maybe we'll talk about it later. What if this wasn't ever an entity? What if this was like a timeline thing or a dimension thing?
Oh, like a shift?
Yeah.
Well, how would you explain, like, what came through then? Like, I feel like it'd have to be an entity because someone went through and messed things up.
I guess we'll talk about that discussion.
All right. So this next story is from Amy, and this takes place in Virginia, and this takes place from the 90s to present.
Okay, so it's just been going.
It's kind of in 3 sections. It's like House 1 in Virginia in the 90s, House 2 in Virginia in the 2000s, and then House 3 in Tennessee more like now.
Okay.
2019, I think, is when that one takes place. Well, this takes place in the 90s in Virginia, and there was something else that took place in the 90s in Virginia. Something was created in the 90s in Virginia. The Dave Matthews Band. And that was when I was in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay. I was like, was it you?
No, not me. No, not me. So anyway, Virginia, House 1, 1990s. Amy grew up in what she considers to be a fairly average-sized home in a very rural area of Virginia in the 90s. Middle of the woods, 7 acres, rural.
7 acres. Jesus.
It was sprawled across Civil War battlefields, and her uncle apparently even found a portion of a cannonball.
That's cool.
And several bullets and jacket buttons in his backyard.
That's really dope.
That is really cool.
That's really cool.
It's also like so sobering, right? That means like obviously they know that. You know where battles take place.
Yeah.
But it's sobering to be like here. Like this happened here.
Yeah. Like when we went to Gettysburg, right? Like we were on the rocks, and like you could see where the charge was, Pickett's charge was, and it's just like it was right for all those people who got murdered. I know what you mean.
And we're just standing here. Yeah,
that's why I love history. Like I think about World War II. Like I want to go to Normandy. I want to see where the Battle of Normandy happened and just like touch the sand and really feel it. I like history for that reason.
I want to feel the sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. Lots of history, ghost stories accompanying the brutal war. She added a note here that has nothing to do with anything, but I like it, that her mother's friend grew up in nearby Fredericksburg, and they had an old home that used to be a Civil War hospital. And apparently, her mom's friend would wake up and see literal limbs stacked outside her room in the hallway.
Oh my God.
And hear echoey screams of soldiers in pain.
Isn't it crazy that I believe that 100%?
Yeah. Well, it's not crazy. It's
100% I believe that.
So disturbing, and I would say for us, particularly gory compared to the things that we would normally hear or we do hear.
Can I tell you why? I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Limb loss was so particularly prevalent in Civil
Was it the bullets, right?
The bullets, because they were so...
They weren't like narrow or something like that.
They were huge. They were 58 caliber. I feel like I told you this all in Gettysburg before. They were 58 caliber bullets, and they were made of complete lead. So when they entered the body, they would explode and smash into the bones, break the bones. So because of that, the bones would get compartment syndrome, and they'd have to be cut off. And they would drug them with laudanum, and they'd be drunk and high, and they cut off their arms and legs.
And they stacked them outside her mom's friend's house.
What's he going to do with them? You got to put them somewhere.
It's like they're playing Jenga. Pull the figure. Oh. No, it's so disturbing. And it's just like, I don't want to see what a stack of limbs look like. Even in ghost form, like that is. And then hearing like people screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Very disturbing. But anyway, back to Amy. So she didn't really experience anything visual at this first house. It was mostly sounds. When she was around 10 years old, she'd be laying in bed and fighting with every inch in her body to fall asleep to make these whispers stop. Now, they're loud enough that she could detect these whispers as being human, but soft enough that she could never really fully understand what they were saying. And this would leave Amy to hide under the covers. And her parents, in total horror movie daddish fashion, said, oh, it's probably just overreactive imagination because of all those ghost stories you're reading or whatever. Non-believers.
That's actually pretty terrifying if you're being haunted by whispers every night.
Yeah, that's like the part of like a horror movie where it's like zooming in.
Yeah.
And it's like... And but just imagine trying to sleep. Yeah. And it's like there's so many certain things that could happen where you're like, even the first story, oh, the window was probably open and that caused it to slam shut. Oh, maybe they're tired and they're dragging their feet. Now that wasn't the case. But on one night, if you're trying to fall asleep and you're freaked out, those are the things you can tell yourself.
You can rationalize your way out of it.
Yeah, whispers that you know aren't your family
Yeah.
in your room while you're trying to go to sleep. Like, what do you even say? Like, that's just like, it's here.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what you do? You put headphones in. You're like, ha,
Or
suck it.
like my dad used to put earplugs in his ears all the time.
Because of whispers?
I thought maybe, I don't know.
But then you're leaving yourself vulnerable in a way. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost like there's
You
two.
can't hear your alarm go
There's
off.
two sides. It's like if I put AirPods in or earbuds and the noise cancellation, then it's drowning out the whispers. But at the same time, if it's like you're covering your eyes, right? Like you can't then hear
Yeah.
if something's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
It's like would you rather be ignorance is bliss, headphones on, I can't hear you, or prepared, if they
Yeah.
if they're gonna attack or something.
Or the ghost is just like realizes it can't hear you and just like kicks a can, walks away, just like, oh god damn it.
Fine. I'll whisper somewhere else.
Exactly.
So parents did not believe Amy until one day when Amy's father got really sick with the flu. Nothing like life altering, just fever.
Man flu.
Man flu, yeah. He's like, I can't do anything. My tummy hurts. He's laying in bed and her mom was like, I'll move out of the room for a minute, so that you can sleep uninterrupted and I'll sleep over here for a couple nights.
He's like starfish.
I know. He's like, finally. But one day during that time when he was sick, he comes walking out of his room, just face completely pale. And they're like, are you okay? What happened? Like, obviously he's sick. He looks sick, but something looked off this time. And he said that he saw his grandmother who died in the 70s. And she was at the foot of his bed, pulled the blanket up over him and told him that his fever would break the next day. And then she disappeared.
At least she wasn't like, you're coming with me.
No. So now he's a believer. Although I will say, I think there's a chance that he was just delirious.
Well, if the blanket's really moved, I don't know.
I guess given stories we get to later, I guess there is a chance that it is her. But it's like, is she there? It doesn't sound like you. I mean, she's not doing the whispering. I mean, she could be there and those other things could be there too.
Yeah.
But.
Or maybe this is a time of need where she felt he needed some extra comfort. That's possible. I don't know.
No, it's not going to affect my believability ranking at all, which by the way, for newer listeners, if this is your first episode, that's interesting. I'll just put that. It's interesting if this is your first episode. But the way we do it at the end of every episode, we talk about these stories again and put them on our believability scale from believable, viable, skeptical, and unbelievable. So I'm not going to say that this is affecting it, but I do think in this one instance, he could have just been delirious and imagined it because he was probably on medication.
It's a good argument. I don't know how I believe it, but it's a good argument.
Well, it's. I find the whispers more believable than I find this unbelievable. So it does, like I said, does not hurt the quality of the story here. There was another encounter that happened a few months later. One night while Amy was trying to sleep, she heard a noise at her window, and I had to look up what she was talking about because I didn't really know what she was talking about. But the way that she described it is what she heard by her window was a vintage speak and spells toy.
Oh.
Which is like this, it's like a tablet looking thing with a bunch of letters, and it must say it like when like if you do like CAT, it must cat,
I'm
like
pretty sure it's in Toy Story.
Is it in Toy Story? I don't
think
remember.
So. I think it is.
But the way she phrased it is it felt like that toy, but like sped up and then slowed down and then sped up and garbled was outside her window.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, very disturbing. So this was like a breaking point for Amy. She's like, this is so different than the usual whispers. Like, this is louder. It's more defined, even though she can't understand what it's saying, but there's just more to it. So she gets up and she goes over to her window, which has the blind shut. And she's like, I'm doing it. I'm going to see what's out here. She opens the blinds and there's nothing. She doesn't know what she was expecting to find.
Yeah.
But there was nothing there. Just trees and darkness.
Nothing is better than like a rake standing there.
Yeah, it's true. In that case, but it also would be like I can place the sound. You know what I mean? It's like in that case, I agree. The unknown is better than a rake, but at the same time, it's still an unknown. It's an unknown, unseen entity.
Yeah.
Rather than like seeing something scurry away, which would make it very real.
Yeah.
You can't rationalize it then.
No.
But then it's like, okay, there's the target. There, like I'm not crazy. That is it. That is the thing. That. You know what I mean? Right now, it's like, what's going on?
I mean, that's a fair point.
So she's like, come on. So she wakes up her parents and explicitly tells them what she experienced. And her dad, now that he saw his grandma, he's like, fuck yeah, I'm a ghost, bro. Daughter. So he goes outside and looks around, and he does find footprints near the window, but none of them were going up to or leading away from the mirror. They're just
footprints.
Just footprints, kind of like plop down.
Ooh, that's eerie.
So eventually Amy went to Pasadena, which is in California. This is not Virginia. So this is like a little break in the story.
Yeah.
She goes to Pasadena, eats probably some really bomb tacos.
Good sushi.
And then she comes back. Her parents sell the house, by the way. They're like, we're done with this house.
You got to sell the house.
Sorry,
do
Grandma.
A trip to Pasadena.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, we didn't buy another house. All the profit went to her meal plan at college in Pasadena. But they ended up building a house on their family farm 30 minutes northwest of Richmond, Virginia.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
So this is a farm that's been in their family since the 1800s. And fun fact, was allegedly sold to her family by Patrick Henry's family. Do you know who Patrick Henry is? Do you remember what his quote was? Mr. History.
Give me liberty, give me death?
Yes. Nice job. Hold on.
Yes.
Nice job.
Let's go.
So they even have what they call a family, and maybe this is a real thing. It probably is. I don't think she just made it up. A family Bible where they have notes.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the family tree, documents, all that, which I honestly I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. Patrick Henry's family was like, give me a good deal or give me death. Come on now.
Give me a low interest rate. Unfortunately, this family Bible also showed a very dark side. There were many notes about deaths, illnesses, suicides, and
sad.
Tragic events. And this led a lot of the family members to believe that the land was cursed and haunted, especially being around Civil War trenches and small graveyards.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
So this was, remember we did the story in Georgia where it was like family plot where like, you live here, we live here.
Yeah.
This is kind of how this farm is.
We interviewed her.
We did. This is like 60 acres or whatever of land. This huge farm.
Yeah.
And it's like her parents live on it, her grandparents live on it, and spoiler, but she's going to build a house on it.
I don't blame them.
So they're all just like right around this farm.
Yeah. You know what? You get a priest in there, do some good vibes. I think it's good.
Well, I mean, they mostly tried to pay no mind to the ghosts. They're like, okay, weird occurrences, ghostly stuff. Let's just not feed into the energy.
Yeah,
Let's
if you
just
don't
brush
give
it
it
off.
the attention. Yeah. Okay.
Now, when Amy came back from Pasadena, because she decided to live with her parents for a little bit, originally she was planning on saving up money to buy a house, but then, like I said, she did end up having a house built on the farm. Mm-hmm. But she does admit that there's a very weird, tense feeling, like a depressive, crippling weight around the property. And her father ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And she says that he added to the tense nature until he got the right medication.
Yeah.
And oddly, he told Amy and her mom that he really only felt off at that property. And once he drove however many miles or acres that the house sat on past the property line, he would feel better. Like, I don't know if that means like it's, I don't want to be like starkly like I have bipolar disorder here, but then once I drive off the property, I'm fine. It's kind of painted that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it just like there's like a it could be separate from the diagnosis, but like the weight that everyone else is feeling, it's just not there, and I feel better there. But here, in addition, everything he's dealing with is like, ugh.
Well, it could even be like because he has these other issues, the weight of the ghosts, the entities, the spirits on the property are more on him than anybody else.
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
Like,
potentially.
If you're already sick and you go into cold weather, you're probably going to get sicker.
And catch a cold. Cold.
That's my thought.
So again, Amy's building this house next door to her grandparents and her parents. They're about 20 acres apart. So she builds her house like 10 miles in the woods, like rural, middle of nowhere.
She's like, I want DoorDash to find shit.
No, they have the drone DoorDash. Here's your Chipotle order. That'll be $55.
Yeah, right.
Here's a quote from Amy about the experience and the outcome of this house. There was never a good vibe in my house. It always felt dark and angry. I went through a pretty intense marriage, which would lead to divorce after 10 years. We argued a lot. We always felt tense and started to really hate each other. My grandfather wound up getting cancer in his 90s, and he was in hospice for about 2 years. He told my dad that he was afraid to die because he's seen what's in this house and around the farm. My dad asked him what he was talking about, but he wouldn't elaborate. Apparently, when he died, he grabbed my dad's hand, looked at him, and yelled, "No," which naturally was a very intense moment. We buried him in April that year, and by May, my grandmother had been diagnosed with dementia, and she was going downhill quickly. She said that a woman in a pink dress wouldn't leave her alone. And after everything that's happened, I'm betting that there really was a woman in a pink dress.
Honestly, that quote gave me fucking shivers.
Yeah,
so.
it's the ominous. What has he seen?
Yeah,
and this is what I was alluding to. Now they moved, so it's not the same property. But when I said that he saw his grandmother, like, what is she doing there? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like this guy, Amy's grandfather, so her dad's dad, has seen so much stuff here, and he's like, I don't want to be stuck with it.
Dude, shivers. I still got shivers. Ooh, I gotta shoot that off.
That's like the victim, so to speak, is the grandfather. Yeah. What a traumatic experience for a son to be there with the dad and then him just yell, like, no, it's the last thing. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't be like, okay, I won't let you die.
Yeah, right.
It's
such a helpless position as well.
Helpless, traumatic experience for all involved, and scary to think about what he thinks he's entering now.
Yeah.
About a month after her grandfather died, things started to get more dark and paranormal. One night, her mother was woken up by a loud crash in the kitchen. When she walked in and turned on the light, she saw a mason jar rolling back and forth on the kitchen floor, and it was in a perpetual motion. It didn't speed up. It didn't slow down. It wasn't like if you have a divot where it's like pick up speed, lose speed, pick up speed. It was just like flat, constantly back and forth, like somebody was, evenly rolling it.
So you look at it and go back to bed.
Well, no, she walked over, she picked it up, and she put it on the counter, gave it the 2 fingers in the eyes, like, I'm watching you. Probably not. And she ran back to her room, shut the door. Yeah. And it was like, I wouldn't even pick it up. Try to go to sleep. No. The next morning when she woke up, the mason jar was on the ground in the living room, straight up and down. Oh. Just sitting there.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm assuming the dad wasn't like, oh, I know what to do with this. So that's creepy. Over the next several months, similar things continued to happen. Objects moved around from one room to the other. TVs and radios turned on by themselves. Lights turned off and on. Doors open and closed. Chairs moved around. Just a whole bunch of paranormal activity. During this time, though, there was one moment that really stood out. And it was a night that Amy's parents came home from a doctor's appointment. They discovered all of the pictures turned around, like hanging up so that the pictures were facing the wall. Like somebody picked it up, flipped it, and put it back on the wall so that the picture's touching the wall and like the back of the frame is out. And both of the reclining chairs that were in the room were turned to face the walls as well. One portrait, the only one that had all 3 of them, Amy and her parents, was fallen, broken, and on the opposite side of the room where it was hung. So it took a while, but they cleaned it up. They picked up the shards of glass, fixed the pictures and everything. And later that night, when Amy's mom was cooking dinner, she felt a sharp pain radiating down her back. And she yelped and turned around, but there was no one there. She didn't see anyone. But she called Amy to come in and take a look. And sure enough, there was a large scratch mark down her back, deep enough to draw blood.
Oh, my God.
So Amy helped her clean it up. And while doing that, her mom whispered and told her that she kept hearing an old rotary phone ringing, like a metallic ring.
Oh, man.
So they decided that they wanted to tell their father about the scratch. So they called him in, and he had this old cowbell in his hand. And they're like, what are you doing? It's like, the way that she phrased it is like it's their security alarm. It's like the farm security. It's like the bell rings. But they're like, why do you have it here? And so what he did is he kept it on the basement door. But while he was out going to the bar, and he found it in the driveway. And
What?
so he picked it up and to bring it back to the basement. And when they sat down and talked about the scratch, he mentioned that when he was down in the basement, he heard what sounded like an incredibly muted party. Like the roar of a ton of people talking that you would experience at a party, but like quiet enough that it kind of melded together. It's just this indistinct sound.
Ooh.
He also confessed that he'd been hearing a phone ringing in the distance late at night.
What's with the phone ringing?
I don't know. So here's a quote from Amy. It was then that my mom cried. She knew something was going on. He said that he felt something was in the basement. And I went down there with him and just said, if there's something here, it needs to leave. And just then my head jerked backward. Something was pulling my hair. I managed to run to the steps, and I didn't go back in their house for 3 months. I did get in touch with someone to investigate the property for paranormal activity. They walked the property and said that they felt a lot of death. The couple that bought my parents' old house from the earlier story came and told us they were putting the house up for sale because they couldn't stand the ghost anymore. We were shocked. The investigator took notes and spoke to them as well because they were having similar issues.
Well, so, like, what if you had done that? Like, what if you, because you went in your house and you said you got to go. What if your head got whipped back?
Oh.
Like, what do you even do?
I don't even have much hair. Like, they'd have to really get a good handful
Yeah,
there.
the top.
I have bad balance, too. I'd probably fall. If someone gave me a really good pull,
Yeah.
like when we watch football, not to make this about sports, but you see these guys get hit and they just kind of like barely
Don't go down, yeah.
move. Dude, like, I'd be like in two pieces. I'm saying this thing would probably break my neck. He probably like, I'll show him, rips my fucking head off.
And then you get up.
I'm like, oh, no.
And you're like, hey.
We good now? We good?
I guess.
We chill? In the weeks after the investigator left, Amy's dad started seeing a smoky black figure. And he bravely would tell it, go away.
Jeez.
And the neighbors, they must be like friendly with these people.
Well, this is the South.
Neighbors also admitted to seeing a smoky black figure in the kitchen as well. And they wound up selling the home way below asking price just to get out. And eventually her parents got some folks to smudge the house. And thankfully, Amy says that the occurrences have significantly died down since then.
They've not stopped.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no more stories from that house. So there's at least nothing interesting. There's just the phone ringing every night.
That's so weird. That's trippy to me.
All right. So the last little tidbit is from 2019 when she moved to Tennessee. So her and her significant other, Richard, moved to Tennessee to start a business. And they bought a house that was built in 1920s. And their new neighbors were kind enough to tell them, like, hey, by the way, it's haunted. Which we literally just talked about this.
We did.
If your neighbors know your house is haunted, that is bad juju.
Yeah, it's because, like, they know everything bad that's happened there.
Like, we're not going to try too hard to get to know you because you'll be out of here before you know it.
Yeah.
So Amy and Richard discovered that was true. It was haunted because Richard started seeing Amy's doppelganger.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
One night, about 3 months after they moved in, Richard walked into the kitchen and saw Amy washing dishes. And he started talking to her just about whatever. And he noticed that not only was she not talking or responding to him, but she didn't even acknowledge him. She was kind of still as a statue, eerily just sitting there with her hands under the running water. Like, he didn't even see dishes. He just kind of assumed that she was washing dishes.
Ooh.
And a moment later, he hears a noise in the basement. And he's like, what's going on? What's that? I mean, I don't think Freddy was from the first story. There's no Freddy the cat in this one.
No.
He's like, I'm going to go check this out. And he walks over and he finds Amy walking up the stairs with a basket of laundry.
Oh.
And he turned completely white, super freaked out, and told her what he saw and what happened. But my thing is, like, what if that's the doppelganger?
Well,
The one standing washing dishes, she had a podcast on. She was like, what's happening in this? But this doppelganger is like, finally.
yeah. I mean,
Laundry.
at least you're both being helpful at this point.
That's true. You know what? They're both doing chores. He's like, I'd hate to see another one upstairs cleaning the toilet.
Making the bed also?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I've got 3 wives.
Yeah. That's a touchy paranormal situation there.
Yeah.
After that, most of the sightings were just quick glimpses around corners or leaving a room, which is still like, it makes it sound like it's no big deal. They're just glimpses. But like seeing a doppelganger just like on the fly.
No.
Yeah.
Dude. No. No.
The only other big event that happened in this house from when they submitted the story. Now, this is 3 years ago at this point. Who knows what's happened? But during COVID, Richard got COVID and he was laying in bed sick, probably a headache. And he looks up and he sees this old man staring at him with his hands on his hips. And when Richard sits up, the old man runs away and disappears upstairs. End story. Finn.
No.
That's it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'd call the police.
Well, we're going to talk about this in the discussion. All right, so we got 2 submissions here today. We got Ava's story where her and her sister both heard someone walking, slamming doors, knocking stuff off vanities, and singing, allegedly. And they ran out there. Her sister ran out there, didn't see anything. Honestly, that's creepy. Scariest details of friends saying that they didn't.
So weird.
They didn't ever hear the noises. And then we have Amy's story in the 2 Virginia houses and the Tennessee house. We got hauntings, grandmother whispers, curses, Civil War.
Yeah. Oh, another fun fact about those bullets, those 58 caliber bullets. They're bigger than the rounds we use today. Like the highest we use is like a 50 cal. They're bigger than those.
Yeah, yeah.
Just crazy.
I get a lot of fun details from you and Claire. Well, let's go over Ava's story first. I don't believe that the sister scared this entity away. I think that's a therapist being kind and offering comfort. But
then
I
why
also
did it go
can't
away
explain.
then?
Yeah, I don't think it's a dimensional shift. I think you were just trying to make things fit, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't know why her friends, unless her friends were freaked out,
That's
they're either freaked out or they're being jerks like boys can be.
I just don't get it. Like, there's no gain either way. Like,
Normally
why
people want to
be.
Normally people want to be in on things too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I heard it. I'm part of this thing that was weird that happened.
Or like, I heard it a little bit. I just thought it was you or something.
Yeah, it's like, is she unreliable or are they lying?
They're really bad at improv. They cannot yes and.
No.
No and no.
No or. Instead of yes and, it's no or. No, or I did. You'll never know.
Just a really bad liar.
No, I mean, that's kind of what it is. Either she's unreliable as a narrator or they're lying. Or
I just don't get it.
She truly experienced that and there was some shift, but it's weird that it was just a 2-day thing. Like,
that is really strange.
I hope no one was physically in the house. I know that I know her sister didn't see anyone, but there was still a little bit of a downtime between.
Do you think this? Okay, that's another question. Do you think the sister really saw nothing? Because it sounded like she didn't. She saw something. It sounded like she was like white. She came back. She was scared.
I think she was ready to see something and then didn't. And that's freaked her out. I do believe her that she didn't see anything. Really scary to think that she did and is holding it, but I don't think you're going to get, I don't think she's going to not. I don't think she would lie. I think she would be.
She'd be spilling her guts.
Yeah, I can't see her keeping that in. I don't trust any of these people. Everyone seems they got their own agenda.
Goddamn Canadians.
He's like singing. There's no singing.
That's so weird too.
Yeah, it's like there are different perspectives to this one story.
Yeah.
They all like, I just want to get them in a room and be like, hey guys, you heard singing, you didn't.
Yeah.
You said your friends heard noises, they say they didn't.
Yeah.
She says you heard the noises, you guys are claiming you didn't.
Yeah, these footsteps are unfamiliar. I just wonder what it was. It's the weirdest thing is that it left after 2 days.
And the friends. I don't know why. I mean, the friends could just be lying. But.
Yeah, I don't know. The weirdest thing to me is it's just 1 day, 2 day, done.
On our believability scale, believable, viable, skeptical, unbelievable, where do you put Ava's encounter? I go viable. I definitely think there's things that are unexplainable to it, but there are just these like weird discrepancies, like the singing, the friends not having her back.
Yeah.
Only the sister went and saw it. I'm not blaming Ava for not going. That's not her fault that she was freaked out. But we're trusting so many other people's words.
There's just so many inconsistencies for me. I have to go a little bit lower. I don't know what exactly it was, Maybe it's just like a lot of like coincidences.
What? So if this wasn't paranormal, because that's what essentially we're saying, believable means it's paranormal.
Yeah.
If it's not paranormal, what do you think is making the noises and making the mess?
I don't know. I don't have an answer. Maybe it is.
I'm not trying to discourage you from going skeptical.
I know,
but I feel like if you're going skeptical,
I would have an answer. I'd be like, oh, it's this because of this. And we know it's not the parents' second night. It can't be them the first night then too. It's their sister that was locked up in the attic that they didn't know about.
all right, this is something we don't normally do, but I have to say it just because this is kind of the territory you're in right now. The most likely reason to go skeptical is, I think, believing that there's potentially some fabrication in the story. Maybe not intentionally. That I'm feeling I'm trying to like go to bat for them there.
Like, no, like I caught a fish. It was 10 feet long, kind of fabrication.
Maybe, I don't know, because like it's kind of like they hear the noises 2 days in a row. They don't see someone. That means that unless someone went out a window in the house, that it, or like, I mean, maybe the sister saw the dad and was like, I'm going to keep this thing going. And the dad was sleepwalking. It could be sleepwalking. And she's like, I'm going to, but then the singing doesn't match. But she's the one that heard the singing. It's not Ava.
Nothing matches. I'm going to go viable because honestly, I don't have another explanation.
Yeah. I mean, if this is a true story, there's really nothing to explain rationally in the non-paranormal world, like what
else could it be?
Unless it really was sleepwalking and her sister's teasing her and was like, I'm going to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
Screw you for...
What about the friend? That doesn't make... There's lots of like little mysteries in this.
It could be so much darker than we're like leading on. Like what could have made the friends...
Really, I know though. Like, what could have like made them forget or not want to say? Well, what if it's aliens, right? And they got visited by Men in Black.
You got flash. Yeah, no, I don't know. Or like, I mean, if it was only her experience, I would say maybe she fell asleep.
Yeah.
Or like dozed off on the phone with the guys. But I feel like they would say that then.
It's also witnessed by the sisters though too.
It's just, exactly. That's why it doesn't count. It's just so weird that she was like. She said that they were like, what's that noise? Is that Freddie? And she was like, no, I think it's my sister. Yeah. And for them both to be like, no, we never said that. Like, that's like when I think aliens, I think Men in Black, like intimidation to not say something. But I don't think that happened here.
No, I was joking. There's no way. I don't know.
All right. So our second story is from Ava. It's got the 2 Virginia locations. It's got the 1 Tennessee location.
Yeah.
So the first setting is we got the whispers, and then we have the weird thing outside the window.
That's really strange too. It's almost like that TikTok trend right now. It's like
I don't know what that is. So
it's like where like kids like are talking, like the voice speeds up, then slows down, speeds up, and slows down.
Do you have any thoughts what might have been outside her window? If it even was, okay. I got the whole impression that this thing was never outside her window, but then they found footprints.
Yeah.
Which is super strange.
Yeah, it's the goat man. I don't know. Something weird like that. Some kind of weird mimic creature. I don't know.
Why do you think it's a mimic?
I don't know. Like poor manipulation of vocal patterns with the speak and spell type thing.
Maybe the footprints were just there from like other people naturally, and it had nothing to do with what they heard outside the window.
By their house?
Yeah, like them. Like could have been the father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it like
he goes out there, makes some footprints, doesn't realize he made them.
Oh
no,
that's some Scooby-Doo shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't think something was outside the window. I think it's in the house around her, and it just got attributed to outside the window.
Could be the whole property.
That's true. I do think it is the whole property.
Yeah.
So then in the second story, she talks about, or the second encounter talks about the illnesses in the family, and then we have the situation with her grandfather passing away.
That's so unbelievably scary.
We have the mother getting scratched, all of the pictures flipping and being rehung, and the recliners facing the wall, and the mason jar.
Like it's
talk a little bit
seriously like menacing. Like it's not just like a little bit scary. Like this is like, I want to end your family.
That it feels like scene out of Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Like intentional.
That's where
Like-
where it starts to get really bad.
Yeah, like that. You're like 35 minutes in the movie. Not quite demonic, maybe more poltergeist or demonic,
Yeah.
but like it feels way more intentional than like
It's super intentional.
like if we only went to like the mason jar, that's weird, and it's like okay, that's going on, that's strange, but to take every picture frame and flip it, like no, you're not looking at that,
Mhm.
and then the
The
recliner,
one with the family is broken.
yeah, like that's dark.
It is very dark.
Same
And then-
night, mom gets scratched.
Yeah, and then the ringing in the phone.
I mean, for us, the connection would be communication. Like our way of like phones are a symbol for communicating.
Yeah,
So maybe like the symbolism would be that someone's trying to communicate with them and just can't get through.
yeah.
But that feels too much like that's too much a line.
Creative writing.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe that's their brain interpreting someone trying to connect with them.
It also just feels like the power comes from downstairs in this case, because like they both went down there, and like you gotta go, and then she gets her head whipped back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The ringing could be like energy too, like that, like a buzz, like just like there's so much energy there.
Yeah, that could
Vibrating. That's just yeah. No, I forgot about that. I mean, that's like now this is Civil War area.
Yeah.
That is the namesake of the episode. This is a Civil War area. Do you think that plays into these entities, or do you think this is something darker here?
be. Yeah, I think it plays into the entities. I think that one of the darkest historical things that happened in the United States. I think that one, people are angry because they died. There's so much death there.
Right.
And on top of that, you never know what kind of like portal that opened there, which feels like maybe it's let in things that are demonic.
It's so crazy too. Like the father being like, as soon as I leave the family property in the barn, the farm area, it's like better.
I kind of get why. I kind of understand why now.
I think they feed into it too. Like they say they don't like pay mind to the ghosts, but if they believe that it's a cursed land, then
yeah,
just sell it.
I would.
And
have
then the neighbor is being like, "Yeah, we're selling that house. That
Yeah.
house sucked.
yes.
We can't stand the ghost."
I would have someone to do a smudging on retainer. Be like, you come here every other Sunday.
Yeah. And then finally, Tennessee, which is all Richard, the doppelganger of Amy, and this old man that he sees.
I would not be able to live in that house if I kept seeing doppelgangers. Like, so my basement's downstairs, or
No
Oh.
shit.
my living room is downstairs, right? So me and my wife, we hang out down there, and I can just imagine us turning off the lights. I start to go upstairs. She's behind me, and then I see like her whip around the steps or something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be okay. I would not be. I would come here and sleep.
Imagine that happens and you go upstairs and it's like the flip. You think the doppelganger's upstairs, but then you look downstairs and there's nothing there, and you realize the whole time you were down in your living room, that wasn't actually her. That's scary stuff. Needless to say, I go believable for Amy's encounters and stories. And
It's so much to not go believable on.
yeah, who are we? Who are we to go less than believable?
I mean, just from the chills alone it gave me, I go believable.
Yeah, that's something like there's a lot of little moments that'll stand out through this, but the grandfather dying and just that like the warning of like, I don't want to die because I've seen the things here. Like that's just like
Ooh.
so sobering and crazy terrifying to think about. All right, that is our episode, The Cursed Civil War Land. Cursed it is. That's my second cursed episode in like
Yeah,
2 months.
it is.
Thank
Well-
you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the two stories. Thank you so much to Ava and Amy for submitting your stories back in 2022. We appreciate you. I hope you're still listening. Hopefully we got the stories right. If you have a story, if you have a personal encounter, it could be a big, massive, years, decade long. It could be one time I saw this weird light in the sky and I don't know what happened. Go to Believing the Bizarre, go to submit my experience, fill out the form, as much detail as necessary. We appreciate it, and your story could be on the podcast. Probably will be
It
in some
could be.
shape or form or
Could
another.
be maybe on a live episode, maybe on a Terrified together. Well, no, you don't know. So if you enjoyed this episode, which I certainly did, thank you very much, Tyler, you can go to Apple and you can leave a review and a 5-star. That it helps a lot, like a whole lot, and we appreciate it. We do, because we text each other to say, Tyler, look at this cool review.
It's true.
And we also post them, and we appreciate them. But you can also go to Spotify and you can leave a comment on every episode you like or want to say something about.
I've pulled a couple Spotify comments. I got one from Resurrection Mary, The Revenge Part 2, Resurrection Mary Strikes Back. And I got 2 from the Allagash Abduction. Asline, Aisslyn, Asline, said, the year is 2053. It's been 2 years since Spotify became sentient. In the wasteland, few still broadcast. BTB records in a bunker. It's day 6079 of my begging the boys to give us a mimic episode. The AI's closing in. I won't last much longer. This is my dying wish. Don't let it be in vain. We haven't even done Roswell. It's not like we got some big things left to do. We'll get to mimics.
It's a touch dramatic, but I appreciate the imagery.
Yeah, it was fun to read. On the Allagash Abduction, Jackaroni27 said, y'all are legit Sean and Gus level bias believing aliens, and I'm here for it. I love the psych reference. I literally named my cat Gus. My cat's name is Gus.
I don't quite get the reference, but that's okay.
They believe in aliens.
Oh, okay.
I got a poster up on the wall. I would love to meet James Rode at Dule Hill. Dule Hill tweeted at me one time. It was amazing.
Oh, really?
Big psych fan.
That's cool.
And John said, why do aliens always pick the coolest sounding spots to abduct people? Like, of course, someone gets abducted at a place called Allagash. It's true.
I don't think it sounded that cool. The Eagle Creek or whatever sounds cool.
Oh, Eagle Lake or whatever.
Eagle Lake sounds better.
Eagle something.
Eagles.
The Eagle Lake incident is another.
Eagles be eagling.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the comments. And again, if you want to support the podcast or if you're caught up and you want more of the podcast, check out Patreon. You can get merch. You can get the annual pin, bonus content, quizzes, mini episodes. We watch horror movies together, interviews, all that fun stuff over on Patreon.
It's a lot of bonus content. I just want you guys to know it's a lot.
Well, let's put it this way, because you don't care about our schedule. You get something every Wednesday, Friday.
That's
every
true.
Wednesday and Friday is some type of bonus content. So if you join, depending on what tier you're in, you get BTB Tuesday for the main episode, Wednesday, Friday Patreon, and sometimes Friday main episode, depending on
That's true.
what's going on. But thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you so much. As always, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Charlie.
And catch us next week on Believing the Bizarre.
A podcast as bizarre as you are.